Hello, today I'm going to talk about the North Node in Capricorn in Western astrology and South Node in Cancer, and also if you have it until 23 degree in Western, you will have Rahu in Sagittarius and Ketu in Gemini as well. So for you guys until 23 degrees, both will be valid, and I'll talk about both of these implications. So, if you have the North Node in Capricorn and the South Node in Cancer, this incarnation is, well, first of all, you're born into this Cancerian mode. You're very family oriented, you're very emotional. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So early in life, it will make you very. You can have ups and downs. You know, as a teenager, you have these ups and downs. You're probably very emotional, very sensitive, also very intuitive, creative. The person could be potentially very creative here, especially in writing. Also, Cancer can be very can have fantasy. You know, they have a very strong fantasy. The moon, but especially the moon and Cancer, or if you have it in your fourth house, if you have South Node in the fourth house, you're here to learn to let go to some degree of these qualities. If you have children in life, you'll be early. So with this, you can have children quite rather early. You probably want to be a parent. If you're a boy wants to be a father. You know, even at a young age, and a girl, both. It doesn't matter. So there's a strong need also for tradition. You have the North Node in Capricorn. So it's very traditional. You know, both the Cancer and the Capricorn is a very home-oriented, home country. It's sort of a patriotic. Both of them are very patriotic, very rooted in their country and their ancestry. They probably have a strong interest in their ancestry, where they come from, you know. But in this incarnation, you're here. So also Cancer is very familiar, right? So this can be quite intense for some people. You have to let go of the overly familiar here. Cancer wants to hold on to things. So it can be. So one of the lessons in this life is to let go, to learn to let go of the past. Cancer can be relentless, you know, relentlessly nostalgic, and you also have the Gemini Ketu, the Gemini South Node. Gemini also has a sense for nostalgia. As you get older, as you grow older with this, as you move into the Capricorn energy with this, your life will take on more responsibilities. This is an axis about maturity. You want to mature. You want to become an adult. You know, this is not some crazy axis. This is not so much about exploring yourself or whatever. This is very you want to be mature. You want people to take you seriously, because with the Cancer South Node in your youth, you will probably be overly emotional. You might get into trouble. You know, if you're men with this can become even violent or whatever. There can be some sort of trouble with with their emotionality, basically. And now you really want to be you want to become more serious in this life. You want to become more discerning. You have to integrate. You have to learn to integrate the Saturnine archetype. Saturnine is structure. Saturn is the creator of time, so to speak. And with this combination, people want to hold on to their youth very strongly, either externally or internally. and they're called through their fate, so to speak. They will be called to let go of any immature behavior pattern, anything childlike. And if they have children at a young age, that also means they might stay at home. They might be a stay-at-home parent at an early age. But now the Capricorn, by the time you're like in your mid-30s, you will spend more time out of the home. Your duties call you to spend less time with the family, actually. Although there is great loyalty, with this Capricorn, and Cancer South Node, there's a strong loyalty either to the family directly or your home country, the place you're from. You probably very strongly identify with your place of origin, and that's because of your past incarnations. What else? So Cancer is very difficult for a Cancerian, as the crab symbolizes. They want to hold on to things. There's many things, there's a lot of things you will have to let go of. Also habits, the moon also rules habits, daily habits, that can include anything, diet or whatever, smoking, daily things. So the moon does rule things that we do, that we do habitually. So some of that will have to be given up. There will be a struggle about giving up certain habits. And the person needs to do that because they will be seen in public more often. There can be it can take on career. For example, the person will have a career. That would be a classic here with Capricorn. That rules 10th house. That rules the career, 10th house. So the person might become a manager or even a CEO or a spokesperson. They can become a spokesperson for a higher cause. And actually that's what this axis ultimately is about, because Cancer and also Gemini are personal archetypes. This is more about personal life. Capricorn and also the Sagittarius Rahu is things beyond yourself, higher than yourself, bigger than yourself. So in this life, you are being pulled out of your personal, provincial little life, your very familiar life. And with the South Node in Gemini, so that really adds to it. If you have this nodal axis past 23 degree, it's not in the Gemini, so then it's just focused on these aspects of Capricorn and Cancer. So there's a meaning in that. But if you also have this Gemini South Node, one thing that you will have to let go of, and that will be the most difficult for some of you, the Gemini or third house rules the friends you made when you were young. These are the friends you have memories with. Friends from high school, college, the time you were under 30, It rules groups of friends, so to speak, your peers. It rules particularly your peers. In traditional astrology books it says neighbors and siblings, but it's just your high school and college friends, your peers and the groups that you hung out with when you were younger, and you have tons of pictures and all that. So now, especially with the Cancer and the Gemini, there's a strong tendency to be nostalgic about that, and also you probably love pictures of the past, of your friends and all that. And now everything seems to dissolve as you get older. By the time you're 35, and especially 40 or a bit older, all of that will be left in the past, and all that's left are pictures, so to speak. So that's one lesson to be learned here. with this emphasis on both the Cancer and the Gemini, there's a strong emphasis on your hometown, or wherever you were, wherever you were born and raised, village, town, city, neighborhood. There's a strong emphasis. You felt very rooted there. You knew lots of people. You were very popular. You were probably very popular, and you had lots of friends, and you felt very much accepted. You had lots of people around you with whom you could communicate, about your personal problems, and they would also tell, about their personal problems. With the Cancer, people like to tell you their personal problems, probably. So there's a strong connection, but in this life, you have to let go of that. Don't be surprised if your friendships from this time dissolve, and there might be no arguments. It's not like something bad happened or whatever. Maybe, maybe you did something wrong. Of course, that could happen, but that's not the case with the South Node. It's not something. It's an area of life where things dissolve like quicksand. And you didn't really do anything wrong, because actually it's an area of your life that you do well. It's actually an area that you do well, and so for some reason it's disappearing. But that's the reason it is disappearing. You know how to do friendships. You know how to listen to people. You know how to handle gossip, probably. You know how to entertain friends when they visit your house or whatever. You always have something to eat or drink. You know how to do these things, So don't be surprised if your old friends are disappearing from your life, or even from social media, because you do have the Gemini South Node here. So that can be very difficult for some people. They might not understand, and that's when you revert back into the Cancer South Node. You can be very overly emotional. You can react with great disappointment. You feel abandoned. You could easily feel abandoned by your friends with this combination. In Vedic astrology, you also have Rahu in Sagittarius. In a way, that's kind of good, because the Capricorn is very serious. Capricorn wants to be an adult, but also never feels like they're ready. The Capricorn North Node always feels like there's more to learn. I'm not quite ready to be this mature woman or man or leader or whatever. But now you also have this Sagittarius influence, and that will open you up more. At different stages in life, these energies can work, because Saturn is density. Saturn Capricorn makes things more dense, concrete. And Saturn is very conservative, You want to be seen as an adult. It's very important for you how you're seen to the outside. You're sort of a conventional person, probably. But now the Sagittarius also opens you up to possibilities here. Sagittarius will rule. You might have possibility to travel, to go abroad. You will meet foreign people from foreign countries, or also very spiritual people, freedom-loving people. So you have this freedom aspect to the conservative Capricorn here. So that can be quite, that will have to make up for you losing those high school friends, hopefully. So that's a difficulty here, but you will meet new people. You will meet other types of people if you're able to let go of that. You will also become more religious as you get older. You become more spiritual and religious. Whatever term you want to use here is both. The Capricorn is very interested in tradition. Maybe you're going to become an archaeologist and travel around like Indiana Jones, So that could happen too. Because Capricorn is very often interested in history, the past, And then you have the Sagittarius who likes to travel, who's pulled into the world, so to speak, you know. It can have there's an infinite number of possibilities in each archetype. But with this Sagittarius North Node, it's not like they're completely different, you know. I mean, the energy itself is Jupiter is expansive. Of course, that's different from density. One thing both of these archetypes, both of these signs have in common is a propensity to truth. Sagittarius is very truth-seeking. Sagittarius wants to see the whole picture and gain wisdom and truth. Capricorn wants to be realistic. Capricorn wants to get out of this emotionality of the Cancer, the very subjective. Cancer is very subjective. Gemini, on the other hand, is actually is rather objective. Cancer energy, Gemini itself is rather objective because of the Mercury. But here, with the South Node in the Gemini, it's probably not that objective anymore, because the South Node does dissolve. It's a bit of a Neptunian energy, almost. So here the Gemini needs to learn. First of all, you might also have to learn to talk less. And even though Gemini is objective inherently, Gemini here is very much about personal issues. It's very much about these conversations you had with your friends growing up. You know, it's very on a very personal level. Now you're called to speak, so your speech will change. The way you talk, the way you communicate with people will have to change. With the Gemini or third house Ketu, if you're born in a region where there's a strong dialect or whatever, or some kind of language, that's very unique to your region, later in life you will have to let go. You won't have the possibility as much anymore. So your communication will be transformed. It will become much more Capricorn oriented. You have to be able to speak in a serious way, very concrete, not beat around the bush, not get too personal, not deviate. A Cancer can be the moon. They can all be very talkative. Moon Gemini can be very talkative, like a waterfall, kind of. So if that's your background, if you're a very communicative person, you might have to learn to listen more, and simply your life circumstances will show you the direction. Whatever job it is, whatever career you're following, it will pull you into this direction. You could easily become a manager. You could easily be drawn to banking with this, or also teaching, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is also the guru, the teacher, right? Saturn is also a teacher. Saturnine people are also often teachers. If you have a sun in their 10th house, that's a typical teacher position. See, I meant people sun in 10th house, but with the Rahu or North Node in the 10th house, that could also be your destiny here later in life. This would happen later in life. If you have other planets in the 10th house or 9th house, you might be drawn to teaching before that. That's what I meant to say. So Sagittarius, both of them have this truthful aspect. Both of them are about something higher than yourself, a higher cause than yourself, than your personal interest. So this axis is trying to pull you away from being overly subjective, from being, it's the classic being pulled out of being this provincial person. It feels very, very safe, you know, where they grew up. They had their fun, you know, they were very integrated in their high school or whatever. But now they're being pulled out of this into the world, maybe into the world of commerce, of business, but also abroad, you know, with the Sagittarius. So that can be, like I say, the person, they might even go abroad. Although with the Cancer South Node and the Capricorn, there is a strong, it's a very strong connection to the roots of their home country. Or they are born in a different country. Maybe they have a different roots. Maybe their parents came from someplace else or whatever, and they want to explore that. Maybe if you live in North America, your parents came from God knows where. Maybe you want to explore that. Maybe you feel drawn. If you feel drawn to another culture other than where you are, it's definitely going to be something related to you personally. It will be your ancestry. So there's a strong propensity to do research in these areas, history, family tree, all of that. What else? I think that's it. That's pretty much it. Like I say, don't underestimate with Gemini and Cancer, don't underestimate that you will have to let go of some friends. I think that's the most concrete implication. It's also your speech. This is about speech, of course. This is about communication, being stuck in gossip. What did he say about her? You need to get out of this mode. And actually, and if your friends are disappearing, that's why. The universe is trying to tell you. The universe does not want you to waste time on that anymore. And these are the hard lessons of the nodal axis. We have to let go of something that will feel either very dear to us, or just overly familiar. It's an overly familiar, integral part of your youth, and then suddenly it dissipates. So that's pretty much what this axis is about. The area of your life that will, where you have to let go of the past. And with this, you do have to let go of, to some degree, where you are from, but not completely, because the Capricorn, both of these, Cancer and Capricorn, are very patriotic signs. They love their home country. They actually don't want to move abroad, I guess. But then you also have the Sagittarius. You will go abroad. You will open up to other cultures as well. It doesn't have to contradict each other. Let me know in the comment section how this plays out to you. If you have this axis, did you have children at a young age? Do you feel a special connection to your roots? Are you psychic? You could be very psychic, but then with the Capricorn, you also might have to let go of that. You might have to let go of the identity of this Cancerian moon. There's some letting go. Something has to be let go that is associated with the Cancer and Gemini. So I hope this helped. Like I say, it's also true for 10th house. You have Rahu, North Node, in the 10th house, and the 4th house, the moon house, needs to be let go of. Some of it has to dissipate. Some of it will disappear. And you have to embrace these chances the North Node will bring you. So with this, you can have, it's duty. It's about responsibility. You'll be called to become responsible. You'll be called to make sacrifices for a higher good. It can be a company, it can be an association. You can also, Saturn rules the father. In the woman's chart, it can also mean through marriage. You could marry somebody who is, for some reason, you will be in the public eye. You will have to manage stuff. It can also happen through marriage if you don't have a career yourself. that you will be called to manage something, to be a responsible adult for a cause. So let me know what you think. Take care.